All right, welcome back, my brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors, and tonight is a very important night. And make no mistake, guys, the moves that you've been doing over the last 2 weeks are amazing. They're incredible. Time to push over the finish line because in the next few days, this is a very important time, and it's going to open up to all reps. I'm going to walk you through tonight what's happening tonight at 1 a.m. I'm going to walk you through where the potential outcomes are, and then I'm going to walk you through what our next steps are, and I'm going to introduce you to a new champion who's always been good, but he has shown through in this process and deserves some credit. So, if you guys are new here, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. You are keeping the mean old YouTube censorship algorithm at bay only by yourselves, and I appreciate each and every one of you for getting this message out. Please send this out because you and I are going to spend some time together about 1 a.m. through 7 a.m. tonight because we are going to be grinding for this freedom. All right, everything will be linked in the description box below. Send it out. Let's get into it. Audio, video is good. Excellent. Yeah, just watch Braden stream. Yeah, there's a reason. I was going to go live like 30 minutes ago, but then I saw Brandon was on, and I was just like, you know what? I'll just wait. I don't know why. This is weird. Anyway, let's get into this. It's so good to see all of the entire industry and the entire Second Amendment space going towards this. This is incredible. All right. So if you guys are just now getting in and you have not followed me on X, at Braden LOA, that is the account. That is what we are constantly talking about, spreading all this information out in the cutting room floor, quite honestly, because a lot of the stuff I cover on here can't make it on the channel because there's just that much going on. So at Braden LOA, make sure you say hello when you do and tag me on all of your reps when you're giving them all that shit for not supporting suppressor removal. All right. Let's dive into this. This is a big one, guys. Tonight at 1 a.m., if you're not aware of what's going on, that is the Rules Committee. Now, it's 1 a.m. Eastern Time, as in, like, 5 hours from now on my time. Well, yeah, 5 hours from now, rather. We are talking about the Rules Committee marking up the reconciliation bill. Now, there's a lot of nuance. I'm not going to go into all the nuance until we get a little further down the road. But the bottom line here is there's going to be a chance in the next 2 days for you guys to call all of your reps completely across the board, not just these committee reps. It's going to broaden out. That's what I mean by pushing this over the finish line. Stay tuned. Stay notification bell on, all of it. All right. I want to show you guys someone who is responsible for a lot of the effort that's happening behind the scenes. You guys are only seeing the tip of the iceberg, but Representative Clyde is really doing a lot of amazing things. All right. Representative Clyde just offered this update and a word of encouragement to the GOA members. Quote, "Don't give up. Never, ever, ever give up." Preach. Love that. That's been my message for 5 years now. Keep the pressure on, keep pressing on, and make those phone calls, contacting your members of Congress and encouraging them to ensure that barrels are included in the budget reconciliation does make a difference. Okay, I'm going to show you the actual clip, and then I'll break down what he's talking about if you guys are not aware for some reason. But we're going to talk anyway, so let's go.
What I hope to be, or what I hope comes out of the manager's amendment, what we've been negotiating is to eliminate the making tax and to eliminate the registry, all right, for suppressors. But I want to go beyond that. I want to do short barrels as well and AOWs. Leadership agrees with me. They say they will go as far as 218 members can get, all right?
All right, that is a key point. Let me break you down what he just said. Again, this is a sitting representative. This came out of GOA's feed today. This is what's happening in Washington, D.C. today. Andrew Clyde is on the Rules Committee, popping off tonight at 1 a.m. All of this stuff is tied together, okay? What he just said was suppressors and homemade suppressors getting removed, but he wants to put short barrels in there as well. But he said something else that was incredibly important. Leadership is on board, and it's going as long and as far as 218 members can go. He's referencing the slim majority of the Republicans in the House. Leadership being on board means they are going to push as far as they can push until they get resistance because they have such a thin margin. That's what they're referencing, okay? Now, let me keep on going back to him.
I'm pushing them to push a little harder. If people call their members of Congress, I think that's very important. Call leadership as well. You can call the speaker, call the leader, all right, and say, hey, we need to eliminate the taxation on short barrels and suppressors, both. Don't give up. Never, ever, ever give up. Keep the pressure on, keep pressing on, making those phone calls, contacting your members of Congress and encouraging them to ensure that short barrels are included in budget reconciliation. It does make a difference. What I hope...
All right, so this is a very... Okay, I've got to be very careful with what I'm about to say, so just bear with me. I'm going to throw a lot of disclaimers out there. This is not coming from any inside information that I have. What I'm about to say is a mere observation about what he just said. I want to make that really clear. It's important to reference what he's saying more of and what he's not saying. Okay? Again, no one has told me this. This is an observation. Do not take this as inside information. This is just an observation. He referenced short barrels, AOWs, short barrel shotguns multiple times about calling your reps and not giving up. He mentioned earlier on he has leadership support for the suppressors in the Hearing Protection Act. Spent most of the time of that saying we need more support on the short act. Guys, read that for what it is. When a sitting member of Congress is telling you you've got two options, he says one thing about one of them and he puts emphasis on the other one. Read that for what it is. That's not inside information. That's just the way that I read that conversation. All right, let's continue because this is where it's important, these calls. As you can see, Eric Pratt was the guy in the video. This is the SVP of GOA, one of my good friends. One of the few in Congress fighting behind the scenes to remove suppressors and short-barreled firearms from the NFA. Gun owners need more 2A champions like him, and he deserves the credit, so give him some love at @rep_Clyde. He does. He needs encouragement because he's going to be looking at his feed from 1 a.m. to 7 a.m. tonight. And I will be too, sadly. All right, so now let's get over to his actual X feed, which I'm sure he will be looking at, and I'm going to show you an article that was written by him and some quotes that are important. This is a rare opportunity to restore our Second Amendment rights. We must deliver, not surrender. This is paramount. This guy is leading a charge behind the scenes to really great outcomes. And it all comes down to tonight and then the vote, which I think Johnson said in a separate interview that he wants to have it by Friday. So you're talking about this week. All the work you've done, the long-legged race we've been running, brings us to this. Representative Andrew Clyde, eliminate taxation and registration of suppressors via reconciliation. Now, this is so key for you guys to understand what we're truly dealing with here. Representative Andrew Clyde is urging his colleagues to use the moment as the Republican-led House continues to hammer out budget reconciliation to end the taxation and registration of suppressors. Now, if you guys have been following the controversy in the gun world, you know that whole little part about ending the taxation is not enough. It's got to be the ending of the registration. No lobbying to do that. And Representative Kostoff from Tennessee, he will be primaried, and I will make sure of it. Let's continue. On Tuesday, that'd be today, Clyde told Breitbart News, quote, "We need to eliminate the taxation of a constitutional right. The $200 federal tax on suppressors is a direct infringement of a constitutional right." He then referred the National Firearms Act, saying, "Since 1934, we have been under this draconian law that has taxed a constitutional right. Every firearm in the National Firearms Act has been taxed, and budget reconciliation is the perfect opportunity to remove the tax of national firearms weapons and thereby restore our constitutional rights." Clyde suggested making these changes perfectly aligns with budget reconciliation because there is a tax on the NFA firearms and devices. That is so important for you guys to understand why this push in reconciliation. Because the big play that the gun controllers did in 1934, the big control push that they did, was they said, well, we can restrict rights if it's a tax. If that tax and the registration goes away, the NFA can't exist. This is a big freaking deal. The time to be active and call is 2 days ago, and now it's now as well. Get on the train, because everybody who's anybody is doing it. All right. Clyde said, registration cannot exist without taxation, and they use the taxation to create the registration. So eliminating the taxation on suppressors is paramount. Again, same with the registration. He stressed that the elimination of taxation on NFA firearms and devices can be accomplished with Republican votes alone via budget reconciliation, urging his fellow party members to rally to the cause. And that is where we are going to spend the last few moments of this stream. Guys, we have been spending a lot of time in the committees. We've been hitting it in a lot of details. Hit the Ways and Means Committee. Make sure you hit that chairman. Make sure you hit the Rules Committee. Make sure you hit the Budget Committee. The Rules Committee is tonight, and that's the last committee. Then it goes to the House floor. We are culminating on this push. The Rules Committee tonight is incredibly important. Then the House could happen on Friday. If this pops out of the House the way that we need it to, we are sitting very pretty to continue our fight the exact same way we just did for the Senate. This only happens when you guys are fully involved, and I'll be honest with you, I have never seen the population, the gun rights activists, the YouTube channels, the creators, and any other personality working the way we've been working. Guys, keep it going. This is a beautiful thing. I'm going to see you guys probably tonight when I'm live posting on my X feed at 1 a.m. through as long as I can go, and then Jared is going to pick up tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. We've got this whole coverage thing going on. But all about that freedom. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell, guys, and send this stuff out because you are living through the biggest opportunity you've ever seen. And that's what I've got for you guys. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. Later. Where's my button? There's my button. Okay, now later.